ADCB presents Top Guns in association with Audi and Tumbe Group. If the sound of galloping hooves excites you, if you consider the movement of a steed most graceful, if the imaginary Pegasus sets your wings a-flutter, then today's Top Gun and his horses will surely inspire you. Top Guns is all about high achievers. Achievement comes in many forms. For some people, it's fortune. For some, it's fame. For some, it's power. For others, it's a combination of all the three. But there are very few people who believe their achievement is pure passion. One such person is Satish Seema.
Satish came to me from Cal Poly as an extern. He's born and raised in India and then came away from there and went to school here in California and then came to me and became one of the outstanding producers of yearlings in the thoroughbred industry and was noticed by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. And Satish was taken to Dubai to run a training stable there, and so he did.
Good morning, Anish.
Good morning, Satish. Welcome to the show. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Early morning?
Not too early. It's actually kind of late morning for us now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're used to this kind of timings, huh?
4:30 is our starting time.
Wow,
Yeah.
early morning. But tell me now, passion for horses, because you were so passionate about them. When did it all start for you? How long back was that?
I was fortunate enough to start riding horses at quite an early age. So
How old were you when you rode your first horse?
probably 5. The first time I sat was on my grandfather's horse. And it started from there. And since then, I don't think I've kind of thought of anything else. Then I came into school. Fortunately, in school, we had horses to ride. And then from school to college, I became the member of the President State Polo Club and did a little bit of polo and riding. They have a beautiful grounds to ride, so never actually stopped. And I started going to the library. I started calling my friends who were overseas, Europe or US, and I started saying, okay, what are the colleges available for me to go and study equine science? And even the horse people who were my friends, they said, why do you need to go do that? But I said, no, I have a different plan. I'm not going to just go and work with the horses and, start my profession. I applied in Europe. In fact, I was rejected twice, which I'm very lucky I was rejected because you know how the life works out.
You always think it's for the best in retrospect.
Yeah, and that is the philosophy of my life, that whatever happens to me, it happens for the best for myself. So whether it's negative or positive.
So, Satish, how did Dubai happen for you then?
Dubai was, of course, never in my mind. And no, in that time, when I was asked to come to Dubai, nobody would have thought Dubai would be a racing destination or a professional would go to Dubai. But
what year was this, by the way, when you were thinking
this was
Dubai?
Between 1990 to 91, this is all happening.
So 1990, you were considering Dubai, Satish. So how did that come about?
I met His Highness in Lexington, Kentucky in a very premier sale, the July sales in those days. And that July sales is the sale for yearling horses where the top racehorse owners in the world, they gather for the auction. Meeting him was one of my special memories and always will be, because for us in the horse business, he is the Bill Gates. he's a larger-than-life person when you kind of get to know him. But of course, that time I was quite nervous when I had a brief chat with him. And within a week, I was approached by his office.
But in that chat, what happened? What did he tell you about
He
Dubai?
just asked me, because I was working for the sales company, the horse sales company, which is one of the top in the world. He said, your horses are a little bit different. They're more calmer. And I explained to him, I said, Your Highness, this is our program, and I do it totally under my supervision. And that was the biggest compliment I could get, and my respect for him as a horseman, because not many people notice that. They just come, they look, and they go for the auction and all that. But his observation was one of my experiences, which I never knew that I would be working for him for now 21 years this January. And so that was very, very impactful in my mind, and will always be. He said, whenever you have a bit of time off, we'd like you to travel there first and see. So the travel for me wasn't just straight from US to Dubai. It was through all his operations in Europe. And of course, it's any horseman's dream to see his operations. And then finally I came to Dubai. But in those days, Dubai was literally a village. Here I go to the camel yard. There's about 30, 40 people. They all dress same. And I said, now this is going to be very embarrassing for me. How am I going to see who is Sheikh Mohammed? And he just comes out and he shakes hands with me. And those 15 minutes we talked is exactly what has happened. He predicted those 20 years ahead in those 15 minutes, which till this day, I cannot believe it. I remember we walked, we sat down in the sand dune. He had a little stick, and he says, he just kept, scribbling on the sand. And in those 15 minutes, what he said is exactly happened and is happening. And that's unbelievable for me. I can never get over it. You going?
Satish originally came to Flag Is Up Farms to work as an intern with my husband, Monty Roberts. He was a good horseman, but he wanted to learn a lot more. It was important to him to be the best, and he was. Monty has never had an intern that he's worked with that was any more talented, and has taken that talent to heights that no one else has.
If you take the financial aspect of it, they're very expensive. This whole organization, financially, it's very high up there. And our instructions from His Highness was everything should be done in a perfect way, and we did.
So Satish, for the last 20 years, when Sheikh Mohammed drew the vision for you in the sand, and look, fast forwarding 20 years now, what's been the success you've achieved in terms of the horse racing world and in your own career?
Yes, I mean, we've had at least 4 landmarks in our establishing the racing in UAE. And one of the most important was the step 1, because Dubai being a new country, we are part of the Middle East, Asia, and the quarantine regulations, we had to follow the European regulations. To do that, you have a lot of visitations from the scientists. They do the blood tests on any hoofed animal. They can go up to Hatta and just take a donkey and take a blood and go back and test. And there are certain criteria that all animals should be free of certain disease. So that was the first, and our instructions from His Highness was that everything should be done in a perfect way. And we did. And then we had the first race meet. And that was the landmark. And from there onwards, we have evolved into country racing to the international racing. In some countries, it's taken nearly 300 years to do that, like in England. But Dubai did it in less than 15 years.
How did that come about? How come so many people are taking longer to do that and we could do this in 15 years?
One man's vision and the right vision and his team, and that's what it does. So instead of holding things around, the instructions are do it.
And you said there were 4 landmarks, as you told me.
So second being we started the racing. Third being establishing the Dubai World Cup, the richest race on earth, being held in UAE, Dubai. The fourth being the greatest landmark in racing anywhere in the world is Maidan. It is a mega structure, mega race course, one of the most high-tech race courses in the world. And it just, somebody has to literally see it to believe it. And that being established 2 years ago.
Success means different things to different people. What does success really mean to you?
To me, I think as a horseman, my success is teamwork. My staff is happy, my horses are happy. Healthy competition, horse goes and races in a highest standard of fairness and comes back to the stables healthy. That is one aspect of success. Yes, I love to win many World Cups. I love to win many races. But I'm a professional trainer, but before my profession, it was my passion. So I guess I could be called a little bit of a softie in my profession because I'm a little bit more on the welfare part than to be a cutthroat competitor, just you don't look left and right and you just want to win. But of course, win is important. But everybody has, like you said, their levels and their different philosophies of success.
Satish had just an unbelievable demeanor with horses, the way he related to horses, and he was also a great teacher. So there's some people that can do things at a very high level, but they can't convey it to other people. Satish was able to take his philosophy and really indoctrinate it into the TaylorMade company. And some of the great horses that we had come through here are a testament to that success.
So what's a typical day for you?
Our timings are early morning and finishing when the work is done.
So early morning is what time is that?
Early morning, it can start from 3:30, 4:30, depending on the time of the year. Our schedules change according to the weather, or if we are in the racing season, our schedules are different. We can start at 4:30 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, depending. If we are racing in Abu Dhabi, we send our horses away around 2 o'clock. Maidan has different timing. Abu Dhabi is similar to Maidan. Jabal Ali is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You're not bound by the time. We are bound by what the responsibilities are and what needs to be done. If you take the financial aspect of it, they're very expensive. This whole organization, financially, it's very high up there.
What do you do to unwind?
For years, I was playing polo, which all my friends used to laugh and says, from a horse to another horse thing.
As a kid, he would wear this gold horseshoe in his neck with a black thread. The stationery he would use would have to have horses on it. He knew it was horses for him, he was for a horse, and it has been. It hasn't changed since, or he hasn't grown out of it. His passion hasn't died down. That is, I think, his true and only love.
My favorite pastime is whenever I can spend time with my daughter. She's 9-year-old. I travel with her a lot, have a lot of fun. And as far as sports or activity goes, I have adopted yoga. So that's my last 2 years. Yoga has been my thing
Is that like a daily practice for you?
It's 3 times a week. And I really enjoy it. We've all tried gym and everything, but I think everybody has something suitable for themselves. I think yoga suits me, and I really enjoy it.
I'd love to see the stables. Can you show me around?
Sure, with pleasure. The biggest compliment to this stable is that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, He took personal interest to design this stable. What people see is that the performance of 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. What goes on behind the scenes is what you have seen in the last 2 days.
This is such a big stable of horses you have here.
Yeah, it's a great place to come to work, as you can see. The stables are built for hygiene, for air circulation, as you see the high ceiling. For most of the year, we keep the doors open. The sea is in this direction, so the fresh air, natural fresh air comes right through and keeps it fresh all the time. The first thing is good living condition, just like any other human being would want. What we lack, which these horses get in Europe or Americas, we make up for that here. We have beautiful swimming pool, very user-friendly for the horses. We have a spa. We have automatic walkers. We have the whole Zabil stable is designed in a way that it's very, very comfortable and horse-friendly. When you walk around here, even a person feels very cool and calm. And I must say, the biggest compliment to this stable is that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, he took personal interest to design this stable in 1991. And I had the privilege to learn from His Highness when he was personally taking interest in this.
Tell me the disciplines that the horses have to go through to be in the winning race, because you have such expensive horse racing in the world. Obviously, they have to be a certain standard. So what goes into training them? Tell me the methodology that you use, the daily disciplines for the horses, things like that.
It is exactly, of course, not every horse is going to be the same level of performer. Every horse or every athlete has a ceiling of talent. I use the gauge as a pyramid. The peak of the pyramid is only about the point of the pyramid, you can only say 2% to 3%. Any given country in racing, that percent is the top level champions. And then as we come to the base, the spread goes on. So it's
your intention is to get these horses to the top 2 or 3% echelon. That's what you really want to do, to the best breed,
best level
racing horses
they can get to. That is my job and my team's job. You can't expect beyond a certain ability. So what we call handicappers, they keep going back and forth in the racing. They win 2 races and they may run second or third in the others. It's monitored by the handicappers and the handicapping committee. It's not just my choice, but I have somebody else checking on me so the horses are not abused or they're not mistreated. So it's a business not many people would know the inside and outside.
Yeah, I didn't realize so much goes into it.
Exactly. And what people see is that the performance of 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, depending on the distance of the race, what goes on behind the scenes is what you have seen in the last 2 days. That's just a glimpse for you.
I've been privileged to work with some of the best trainers around the world, Sir Michael Stout, John Gosden, and I would put Satish up there with them guys. You know, he's fantastic. Not only is he a very good trainer, he's a fantastic person to work for.
So what can we learn about the psychology of winning